Hello and welcome to Smartwork Labs. My name is Anupam. I am the Chief Mentor at Smartwork Labs IS Academy. Today I am here with Dr. Diksha Joshi. She secured rank 19 in UPSC Civil Services Exam 2021. Hello, welcome Diksha. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Let's start with a brief introduction about yourself.
My name is Dr. Diksha Joshi. I come from Uttarakhand in Uttarakhand, wherein I have done most of my schooling till class 10. Thereafter 2 years in Dehradun, and I finished my MBBS from the Himalayan Institute of Medical Sciences, Jollygrant, Dehradun. And it was completed in 2019, and since then I was preparing for the Civil Services Examination. So this was my third attempt at UPSC.
So Diksha, you have done MBBS, which is a very desirable degree. So what made you shift to Civil Services?
So there was always an interest for civil services because the kind of area that I come from, I have always witnessed that there has been a lack of facilities or infrastructure per se, especially in Uttarakhand. But the primary motivation came during my internship when I had a first-hand encounter of challenges in the delivery of healthcare. So that is when I realized that as a doctor, maybe I'll be able to contribute at an individual level. But as a civil servant, I will be able to empower more doctors to do better, and that was the reason that I decided to come to civil services.
Okay, great. You said this was your third attempt.
Yes, sir.
So I understand the first two attempts you did not clear the prelims.
Yes.
So what made you continue with the journey, and what did you change in your prelims preparation this year that you cleared it?
So why I continued? Because especially after my second attempt, I was extremely demotivated, but with an introspection, I realized that there were some issues in my preparation and I had to correct those things before I finally leave this preparation, if I were to say. So that was the reason I decided to appear for a third attempt. The issues in my first two attempts were especially that in my first attempt, I did not refer to the right kind of resources. I read some of the subjects and the others I ignored. I did not even write the test. But in my second attempt, I tried to correct that. So I did most of my subjects. But probably I was using the wrong kind of resources. For example, referring to the coaching material rather than using the standard NCERT books. I solved a lot of mock papers, but I never analyzed those mock papers. So these were some of the issues I think that was going wrong in my prelims preparation that I tried to correct in my third attempt. Okay,
good, great. Now coming to mains exam and the interview stage. You cleared both the mains as well as the interview stage in one go, especially during the COVID time when we had very less time for mains preparation as well. So what was your strategy that you could score so well in the mains exam?
Sir, I think the strategy that worked for me was two ways. One, first was that preparing everything before prelims, especially the GS topics. What I mean by preparation is that at least I had the notes of all the topics that were asked in the mains exam, and I had read them 1 or 2 times before the mains exam. So that was helpful that right after prelims, despite wasting 20 days because my CSAT was a little unsure, I was still able to quickly finish all those subjects, revise them and write their test. And second thing I think was important was the right analysis of the papers that I was solving, because I had limited time this time, but still the number of papers that I wrote. So the constant feedback and analysis was extremely helpful because I was in a self-correction mode in that 2-month period. So that was a major thing that I think that was helpful for me in my preparation.
Okay, coming to the interview stage, interview also you scored very well, 193. So what was your strategy for your interview preparation?
Sir, I think in civil services at any stage, be it prelims, mains or interview, analysis of whatever you are doing is very important. So in the interview, what I mostly focused on, one was preparation of the DAF. That has to be very detailed. You need to know in and out about everything that you have mentioned. Secondly, the current affairs preparation. So that also I made sure that I was taking down the notes from the newspapers and revising it. The third very important thing which a lot of students ignore is the analysis of the videos that they get, because a lot of institutes in present time tend to provide videos for your mock interviews. So that I think again here a feedback and constant mentorship in this regard, that whatever you are doing, you discuss it with somebody. That could be your mentor, your friends, your parents, because it is apparently a stage where everybody can help you. So I think this was extremely helpful, that analysis helped me prepare the questions for the interview. Okay,
great. So we have just finished with the prelims exam.
Yes.
What advice would you give to the aspirants who are preparing for mains this year? How should they utilize their time, the next 90 days that they have at hand?
Yes. Sir, I think in the next 90 days, all the students writing mains have to work in a mission mode. They actually need to think that they have gotten a golden opportunity this time and utilize the resources very well. If they have already prepared their notes, they need to quickly start revising that. For all those who are unsure also, they can start with their essay, ethics and optional subjects. So that will be helpful because even if they do not clear this year, they can anyway be helpful in the next year as well. The third thing is writing the test and analyzing those tests, because over a few days I have been meeting students who are saying that they either haven't written test or they have written but they never analyzed. So for all those who are writing, because they have less time, so analysis will be more important than the number of tests that they will attempt.
So Diksha, this civil services journey is a very long and arduous one, right? People go through a lot of ups and downs. You have also gone through a lot of ups and downs the past 3 years. How did you keep yourself motivated? What advice would you give to people?
Sir, I think definitely for me this journey has been very, very long, especially the last 1 year before this third attempt. What helped me was that being surrounded with right kind of people, whether it was my parents, my brother, or a right kind of mentor, that was you for me. So I think that was extremely helpful, because sometimes what happens is, despite all our efforts, we do not get good marks in the test, or maybe that sometimes we are generally demotivated seeing other people do well. So being surrounded with the right kind of people and also reading right kind of books, or maybe shielding away from the negativity, is helpful to stay motivated in this preparation.
So Diksha, you were also a part of the coach program, TCP program, which is a one year long guidance program at Smartwork Labs. To what extent do you think that helped you in your journey?
Sir, I think joining the TCP was the best decision that I made, especially in my third attempt, because for me, what was lacking in my preparation was the analysis or the constant mentorship that I needed, because a lot of material I had already read. So TCP provided me with that at every stage. For prelims, the analysis of mock papers is bang on. Also, the constant mentor support was extremely helpful, especially for me in the prelim stage. Second, I think in mains also the one-to-one feedback sessions that I had with you, also with other mentors that are here. So that helped me improve my score to a great extent, especially in the ethics paper. I think my score improved. Even for interview, my first interview was extremely bad. It was an absolute disaster. But when I came back and again we had discussions on that. So that way also TCP helped me to improve my interview score, and I was able to score a 193. So a lot of credit for my success in this exam goes to the TCP program that I was a part of.
Thank you. Great to hear that, Diksha. Thank you very much. It was a great interaction.